everybody, welcome back to Char'Nese Bible Guide. It's been a minute, spring break, life happened in between that time, so I apologize, but I'm back and I'm going to start with Leviticus, and then next week I'm going to go into Numbers, but this is all of Leviticus. And here again, this is my notes, my reflections, my interpretations of the Bible as I go along. As always, I'm going to be on the move, so I don't have time to write the notes down, but I put them in my phone, and I'll be reading off my phone going forward. So, like I said, Leviticus is this week's episode. Next week's episode is Numbers. Okay. So, starting off from like the first chapter to like the 10th or 11th, God is giving all these instructions for offerings, so burnt offerings, grain offerings, fellowship offerings. He's giving a rundown of what needs to be done and how he wants it. And so notice how detailed God is. Each piece is working together for a whole, and that's through the first chapter to the very end. He's kind of giving you the foundation for how he wants these things to be. And so again, like I said, he's giving burnt offerings, grain, fellowship, sin, guilt, and like I said, he's laying the foundation for us. So he's primarily showing us that, especially in chapter 5, that we must repent after we sin, and that there's order and there's guidelines to following up when we do disobey his will. So in chapters 6 and 7, there are more offerings, but it's amazing how God is just giving us the layout. Like he wants it a certain way, he's giving it us in a perfect order, and he expects us to follow through. And so as we know what he says is best, and we're going to honor him by doing exactly what he said. So in chapters 8 and 9, I talked about honor, and so he's constantly giving us the right way to do things in his likeness and his image. And so notice how Moses and Aaron and his sons are doing exactly what God says do without question. So when God gives us instructions in our life, in every stage of our life, we must listen first, but begin doing what he says, because that is the preparation for the next step of our life. So in anything, I think it's important for us to just listen and obey. And if you read my second volume of my book, you know that that's my focus, is understanding the words of God and obeying what he says for me, because I know that whatever he says is the best, and it's the right thing that will benefit me at the end. So in chapter 10, Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, who they died basically because I thought they were doing everything right, but it comes out like they were still pushing those bounds of who they thought they could be and who they thought God was. So they ended up getting burned up in a fire. And so they thought that they knew better than God. And after that, Moses warned everybody that it's important to be good and to do what God said. And I think this world needs more of the fear of God in us. I think that we have got to relax, and we've got to the point where we aren't fearing God. And we know that he is great, but sometimes we just don't appreciate that. And it isn't until something tragic happens that we really get that fear of God and the reality that God controls everything back in us. And so I really think that my generation and generations under me, all the kids, even the people who are older and more seasoned than I am, I think that they need fear too, because we are all living crazy in this crazy world. And if we don't fear God, then what do we fear? And that's becoming the mentality when we're killing each other, when terrorists act, so when we treat each other wrong. All of this could be changed, but we don't fear God the way we should. And I think that should be at the forefront of how we live our lives moving forward, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't fear any man, but we should fear God first. And I don't think that we have been fearing God, but also appreciating God and his goodness the way we should have these days. So again, more instructions, more ways to handle things. So chapter 11 is about handling food. Chapter 12 through 15 is about childbirth, disease, and cleanliness. And chapter 16, God gives Moses instructions for Aaron's atonement. So he's giving more instructions. He's given us a guideline. As I said, all through this, it's like he's laying the foundation. And that's the beauty of the Bible, is he's already set it up for us to retain and understand and really just get this the way we should. So, chapter 17, no eating blood. Chapter 18, no sex with relatives. Chapter 19, he's laying more laws of the land. But the key takeaway is verses 2 through 4, where it says, "Speak to the entire assembly of Israel and say to them, be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must respect your mother and your father, and you must observe Sabbath. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols and make metal gods of yourself. I am the Lord your God." So again, he's like, I am who I am, and there's nobody greater than me. And as always, you should understand that, because I have been laying the foundation for your life. I'm taking you out of slavery. I'm doing all these things. I'm giving you good things. So continue to honor me first. Chapter 20, he's laying out the foundation, but he's also giving consequences. And that's very important. So 21 and 22, he's giving out rules for priests and pastors. But the key takeaway from chapter 22 is verses 31 to 33, where it says, "Keep my commands and follow them. I am the Lord. Do not profane my holy name, for I must be acknowledged as holy by the Israelites. I am the Lord who made you holy and brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord." Again, he's like, I am who I am. And if you don't abide by that, if you can't follow by my rules, if you can't do what I say to the T, then you don't deserve to be here. And that was the consensus with everything. You get killed if you don't obey, and bad things happen to you when you don't obey. These chapters are wrapping up. Again, we are understanding that God is the way he is, and what he say goes, honestly. And that should be the rule, that should be the foundation for the rest of our lives. In chapters 24, we learn about the olive oil and bread for the Lord, but also the rules if you kill animals and if you kill people. 25, the Lord explains the year of Sabbath and the year of Jubilee. And 26, he lays out the rewards and punishments. So again, he's making it really clear what he expects of us, what he wants of us, and he's giving us a choice. Like in life, that's the beauty of it. Like, he's telling us the right thing to do, but it's up to us to do it, and it's up to us to follow through. And so the beauty of choice is amazing, and either you choose to live right or you don't. And so in 27, the Lord is asking the people to dedicate something of value to him. So again, worshiping and going back to the fact that he is your God, and he's done all these great things, and he will continue to do all these great things for you and the people behind you if you continue to do good and follow his word. And don't question it, because I noticed that with everything, like the Israelites, after all these offerings, I'm like, as I was reading, I'm like, this is a lot of stuff. This is a lot of detail. This is a lot of heavy tasks. But nobody questioned it. Everybody trusted in the Lord, and everybody believed that he was going to do something, and that what they were doing was going to produce good, and what they were doing wasn't going to harm them. So I'm grateful for that aspect, and I just wish that, like I said, I wish that we could be more trusting in God, and I wish that we could do more to fear God, because we don't fear him, and that's why all this bad is happening in the world. And if we don't fear him, I feel bad for the kids after me, because it's sad that we're killing each other. It's sad that we don't care for each other, and it just pains me to see that. But the more we fear God and the more we lean into him, the more we trust him, the more that things will be joyous, the more that things will be prosperous, and that we can love ourselves first and then extend that love out to everybody else. So like I said, next week I'm going to go into Numbers, and then I'm going to continue the rest of the books moving forward after that. I thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.